I think you should. So you guys, we had a small little bit of frustration, and I think Madam needs another drink because I'm on shot 3. I'm just sipping it because she haven't even taken shot 2.
I don't take shots. That's why I only do 1. I normally do a drink.
I'm not gonna be 3 in and you 1 in.
But you like liquor like that.
What's I didn't know Hennessy was an aphrodisiac until
Hennessy is my favorite, and that's another thing I like. I don't really like clear liquor like that.
Did you know Hennessy was an aphrodisiac?
Mm-hmm.
Why you ain't tell me?
As an alcoholic, I expected you to know.
I'm not a full-time alcoholic. I don't.
Are you a part-time alcoholic?
Yeah.
Please.
I don't normally drink Hennessy like that, but when I tell you these cheeks were flushed, these ones, like there was blood, and I'm a dark-skinned child. Mm-hmm. So for my cheeks to be actually flushed, I was concerned. I didn't know that Hennessy.
Concerned that was going to happen.
I was concerned for what I might do.
Listen, that hand make you sin, okay?
Like I was flustered. You know how people get flustered? They just be blushing and shit.
Very, very well.
So it was all like in my cheeks. I was like, I need to get home. I was like, what's happening?
Do you like Douce? It's a yak too.
I've had Douce before. And Douce ain't made me feel like Hennessy had me feeling last Sunday.
No,
I've had Hennessy before, but I had a double Hennessy last weekend. So I don't know.
I like a shot of Hennessy with a little bit of cranberry juice on top.
I had a double Hennessy with some Pepsi because I was at the movies. And the whole time I was in the movies, like I was like,
I don't drink soda, so.
I was like, what's happening?
That hand was getting.
So glad I was by myself.
I'm glad she was by yourself too, child, because baby.
I would never.
That hand make you sin.
I would never start an OnlyFans on purpose, but so
I've been begging her to start her OnlyFans for a while now, y'all, and she will not do it. And I just feel like I shouldn't have to keep begging you. I've been begging,
but people don't know.
A year. I've been begging.
It's been over
a year actually now.
The people don't know.
That's fine, but I've been begging over a year now, and she still ain't started his OnlyFans. What you waiting on, Margaret?
It's been a topic of discussion.
Has it?
Yeah. It's been a topic of discussion. I personally... Okay, y'all. Okay. I need y'all to understand that as sexual as much as I enjoy sex, this is fairly new for me. I didn't even I didn't think I liked sex until about a year and a half ago. Before the current relationship that I'm in, before that, I was like, I'm not impressed with sex. I don't really like it. And I also dress very conservatively, so I don't think marketing and OnlyFans from my point of view, considering, like, I have on shorts today, but this is it's an anomaly. I don't ever wear shorts outside the house. I'm very physically conservative. Would you agree? Outside the house.
Normally, we are people that cover up,
right? And so it's just like, okay, you always covered up, but you want people to think you got a successful OnlyFans? That don't make sense in my brain.
It do make sense. It's more than what meets the eye.
Yes, but also people look at people who look like me and like who are smart and got their life together, and they don't think that women are multifaceted. They don't think women,
and that's even more reason.
They don't think women who are like me can enjoy sex as much as women like me enjoy sex.
Well, as a Sagittarius, I expect you to. And let's, for the record,
Sagittarius
the Sagittarius, it's not the Scorpios that's the hoes. It's the Sagittarius that are hoes in the zodiac.
I'm not a hoe, y'all. I'm not promiscuous at all.
It's not the Scorpios that are sluts of the zodiac. It's the Sagittarius that are the true sluts of the zodiac.
I want to be slutted out. I'm not a slut.
Case A.
I have no complaints about my dating life or love life in that department. I would say that on a scale of 1 to 10, a 10 being fully satisfied and having every desire met, I'm at an 11.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
So I have nice skin.
I'm proud and
Nothing
happy,
like vitamin
happy
D.
for you.
Vitamin D.
Are you pulling this next card?
Yes, absolutely. Intimacy, y'all. I don't like this question.
Oh, Lord.
I don't like this question for the podcast. I don't like this question for you.
What does it say?
We're not going to do that. We're not going to put that on the podcast.
I wouldn't even be able to.
You see what I mean?
Tell you.
So that's not a good question, right? All right, moving on. What is a secret or confession you have never shared with anyone? That's a lot to put on the podcast. But
I don't really have any secrets. I have other people's secrets, but I don't really have secrets. Do I? I'm private, but I'm not secretive. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
But like,
there's a difference.
Privacy, because I'm private, right? But I think people would like to know something about you that they can't tell just by looking at you. So it doesn't have to be like some juicy confession or secret, but give the people something. We Bernie Mac. Listen, America.
What would that be?
Whatever you feel comfortable sharing, Queen.
I'm so dead serious. I really don't. What would you tell them about me?
You?
Yeah, because I really don't know.
Well, that's not my place to share because I don't know what you are and not willing to share.
I don't care.
No, because you said we're not editing shit in post. So whatever we put out here. Whatever you want.
I'm going to have to edit something now because we have the technical difficulties.
Oh, yes, yes, this is true. Y'all, that made Madam a little grumpy. I can feel her grumpiness from over here.
I don't know about if grumpy is the right word.
Agitated, irritated, frustrated.
That's a better word.
Upset.
Not really upset.
Not upset. Unhappy with the quality of $1.
Thank you. Because we like it was an inconvenience of the coin.
Oh, don't worry.
I don't mind spending coins, but let it be worth my coin. I really don't know what it is that you guys would like to know. So in this case, I will answer this question. I have no problem answering it. Ask away, and I will answer the question on the next podcast. Yes.
Okay.
Y'all can submit a question as well.
My question gets priority, obviously. Okay. Don't make your eyes like that.
I'm only doing a little.
Okay. It's a sipping rum. It's real soft. Now we have the same space. Okay.
Are you going to submit your question now?
No. I need to think about it.
Okay, child.
I got to think of a really good question to get that open. I just want you to all into the podcast.
How do you move on from a past relationship?
That's a great fucking question that I can't answer. I mean, obviously.
Okay, take your shot then.
Okay. Let me give some context. So after that relationship because there was another relationship question that had me talk about my previous relationship prior to the one that I'm in currently. And I did talk about that. So I was fully prepared to be grieving for like a year, you know? But then I met somebody amazing like 3 months later. And so was I grieving them 3 months between that breakup until when I met the person that I'm involved with now? Absolutely. But I felt like I should have grieved longer. I felt like I should have grieved
that
to
ain't
the
answering
point.
The question though.
Having somebody who is different really does help. And I don't like that because most of the time people are like, oh, just go into your whole phase after a serious relationship. But no, having someone who gives you the things that you wanted in a previous relationship or giving you maybe the things that you needed or, you know, it's just new. Sometimes a sense of newness really does
help you move on.
you
Okay,
move
now that
on.
is an answer. All right.
A sense of newness, whether it's a new hobby, a new dick, some new weights to lift, a new city, a new country. Get you some newness in your life.
Something refreshing. I got
Something new and refreshing. Yes.
I got you.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I think women go cut their hair. I don't.
I'm considering doing the same.
You want to cut your hair?
Mm-hmm.
Look how.
Guess we'll have to see.
I think you have such beautiful bone structure and cheekbones. I think you could rock any hairstyle.
I probably could.
You could.
I probably could.
You could, for sure.
We'll see what becomes.
Okay. The next question category is a mind fuck. What is one life goal you hope to achieve before passing away?
Getting my 15 acres.
You mean 40?
Well, I would like 40, but I don't know who's going to cut 40 acres of grass. And my husband ain't going to
15
cut.
seem like a stretch, too.
It is, but we can manage 15. If you get 10, I could do 5.
Maybe get a couple horses for some grazing.
I'm going to have, well, yeah.
Or a heifer.
I'm going to have a whole farm. Grow my own food. Have horses. You know, I love horses. Cows.
fresh milk.
Mm.
None of this stuff.
Well, you know, I don't really drink milk, but just some cows.
I think I would drink milk if I had a fresh cow. Because
It does taste different, I'll tell you that much.
I don't drink milk either, but I think I wouldn't feel as bad about my dairy consumption if I knew that I was making the dairy.
Mm-hmm.
Like this.
I think I would also want some sugar cane, a sugar cane.
Oh yeah, you
field,
can grow sugar cane.
and I would want a rice field.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Because then I could also have some crawfish on that rice field, you know. So anyway,
If y'all didn't know, Madam's favorite season is crawfish season, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. She love her some crawfish, and crawfish is a spring thing, and crawfish in spring are good because the heat is not her ministry. And crawfish is something that you would want to eat like outside at a cookout or a table or something like that. And crawfish peak season is in the spring, early summer, before it gets too hot.
however, the season does start in January.
But that's not when you get the best.
It ain't when you get the best, but baby, a fix is a fix.
So you wait until January right now?
Am I?
Yes, ma'am.
You see, if I was back home in Louisiana, I would still have some right now.
Yes.
Year round, baby.
Me and you need to go to New Orleans.
We need to go to LA too.
Mm-hmm.
How can you tell when you have fallen out of love?
Oh, that's an excellent question. You wanna know why? Because for a Sag, it's so fucking obvious.
Yeah, because y'all so blunt with y'all.
Listen,
It's hard for Sag.
sometimes I don't like people, and I know people don't like me all the time. But when I love you every day. Every day. And the day that I wake up and decide that I don't love you no more,
it's a wrap.
there ain't nothing you can do. There ain't nothing you can say.
Is you gonna finish that shot or not?
When did you finish yours? Shit, I didn't even
I guess
realize.
when you weren't paying attention. You was looking dead at me, so I don't know what you was
I thought
looking
you
at.
was sipping.
Sipping what?
It's done.
Good job.
Yay me.
I'm tapping into your praise, King. Go
Why
ahead.
you put that out on the podcast like that? I didn't tell the people that I like to be called a good girl.
You didn't. And they wouldn't have known, but you just said it.
But you just said praise kink. Everybody knows what that means.
Not everybody.
Everybody knows what that means.
I guarantee you, not everybody.
Everybody knows what that means.
You think everybody knows what that means, but a lot of people don't even know that they have such things that they like or why they like it. Are you blushing?
Yeah. Because you just told all the people I have a praise kink. Yeah, I can't believe she put me out here like this. But yeah, that's how you know, because I'm so extra when I'm in love, and it's easy to sustain that extra ability. Like when I love somebody, I want them to know I love them. I'm going to go out of my way, and it's not a burden or anything for me to try to communicate that I love them. And I put the effort in to love them in a way that they understand. Like, I'm going to take time to learn your love language and love you in the way that you understand.
That is
I'm going to meet you where you at.
That is true about you. Gonna meet them where they at.
I'm going to meet you where you at.
It's so important to meet people where they at, y'all, because I think it's one of the highest forms of love, really meeting somebody where they're at.
It is. Like, okay, I love you, but if your version of love means I only call and check in on you once a week, or if your version of love looks like this or that.
Yeah, but I also think that with that, though, it could be a little fine line, because just because you are willing to meet them where they're at doesn't mean that you should, because it could be detrimental on your end for you. Point. And a lot of people are naive and willingly blind to that fact that, yeah, just because he, whatever it is here, don't mean you need to hear because they're there, you know? So, but anyway, go ahead.
When I fall out of love, it will be felt long before you ever see it on my face, long before the day I wake up and decide that I don't love somebody anymore, outside of like a community love that you're supposed to have for every like living being on earth. When I decide that I don't, like, it's instantly felt.
Somebody asked me,
and I mean that shit. Like, Sages really just be turning that shit off.
But you know, I got a Sag stellium, and it's funny that you said that, because Antoine asked me recently, did I still love Demon Spawn?
I wouldn't ask you that shit in 100 years. Because I know you don't love Demon Spawn.
Exactly. I said, so how much love is this? Because this was my response. I said, not enough to ever want to communicate, see, or talk to, or ever think about being friends with them in this lifetime. So how much love is that?
That's a healing love, because when I really love somebody and I don't love them anymore, I look at them from across the street and say, I hope that good fortune precedes and follows you.
I ain't say all that.
No, but that's how I feel. Like, when I see somebody that I don't really fuck with, I hope good fortune precedes and follows you. But it ain't gonna be me.
It won't be this good fortune.
It won't be this good fortune.
That's what that gave.
I won't be in your life. May all the goodness and shit come to you, but there was a certain level of abundance that comes with a December Sag. That is me.
Well, okay.
And there's a certain amount of good fortune that comes with a certain level of woman that is you. So Demon Spawn is the only one missing out in this situation.
All of them are.
Yes.
If you ask me. All of you are.
All of them.
Next question.
It's your turn. Oh, wait, no, it's my turn. I get to ask you. Oh, you guys, this is intimacy. Is this the deepest level?
I don't know what the deepest level is. Probably vulnerable.
What is your definition of love? This is such a great question.
I think that my definition of love is a lot of things. All being, all seeing.
That's a big question.
It is.
I have an answer. Because I have a simple answer.
I have no simple answer to this.
I can give you my answer because I love you. I think love is acceptance.
That's
above
one of my
all things.
That's one of my answers. acceptance above all things, like she said, being seen, receiving me or receiving one at every facet they are as they evolve, consideration.
Okay.
Consideration for sure.
To be considered and to consider.
To be considered. To be protected. Love is safe. A safe space. A warm. It's home. That's... I'm gonna leave it there.
Okay. I like that answer.
They got my throat burning.
Woo! The rum or the question?
I don't know, because it wasn't burning before. Tell a story of a time you felt betrayed.
Betrayed? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Lil Boo said, sometimes I feel betrayed.
Betrayed.
How about this? What would you say has been your deepest betrayal in your lifetime so far?
Deepest betrayal? I think it was a betrayal that the betrayer didn't know that they were doing.
So it was an unintentional betrayal.
Yes, but still one that hurts the same.
That happens in a lot of familial situations.
Yes. And my dad, I would say my dad was the biggest betrayal. I love that man so much, and him moving away. And this is why I think like isolation is somewhat something that I inherited, but I really didn't mean to. Him moving away when he really needed family the most, but he felt like he wasn't in a position to ask for family because of his past fallings or mistakes, right? When he didn't know that this daddy's girl loves him so much because he's still alive and well. He's just not somewhere where I can like reach out my hand and, you know what I mean?
Reach out and touch.
Exactly. He ain't somebody I can reach out and touch. So I would say that was my biggest betrayal because I wanted to have a relationship with this man in adulthood. Regardless of the divorce, separation, and things that happen in childhood, I was ready to start over anew. And like, cause my mom, you know how close me and Claudette are. And like our relationship has only gotten better that we don't live together anymore. And I was really looking forward to having a close relationship with my dad too. Because like I was a daddy's girl through and through. And had he still been here, I know that he would not have gotten had he not relocated to Florida, had he stayed here when he had gotten sick and not been too afraid or ashamed to call on family, he wouldn't be in the situation that he's in now.
I don't know if we can definitively say that.
I wouldn't have allowed it.
I don't know if we can definitively say that either, simply because we would like to think that, but sometimes, and maybe even a lot of times, it's literally not in our control.
And I've accepted that now. I've accepted that now. The reason I can't help because I tried, and every time I tried, I ran into brick walls. I realized that the reason I can't help now is because I'm not supposed to. And I've accepted that.
And that's my point.
I've accepted that.
Sometimes we try to come in and be Captain Save-A-Ho to people in certain situations to protect them from something, but we're intruding and interrupting their own self-doing and karma. And then it'll fall on us. And sometimes the protection that we have over ourselves won't allow that. So the advances or the things that we might try might seem to, prove to be no avail.
Yeah. I think love is really healing. And what I could say about my dad's situation is that had he not moved away, that I could have loved him into a state to where he wouldn't have felt that he should flee from people who care about him.
I don't think so.
I think I could have convinced or talked to him and told him that, like, regardless of your mistakes, even if the people who you transgressed against don't forgive you, forgiveness is available from someone.
Yeah, but he has to, people, love is very healing, but it's only healing if the other end is receptive of it. And that's the key to it. And that's why I said I don't think so.
That's the thing, though. Like, I know that, like, in general, my dad made a lot of mistakes, right? But yeah, I also know that if he were capable of doing right by somebody, or if he were capable of, like, genuinely expressing or showing love, that it would have been to me.
But if he can't give it to himself, what makes you think he can give it to you?
Because he wanted to give it to me. He didn't know how.
But you can want to give something all day, but if you can't figure out and understand how to do it towards you, you will end up fumbling. And fumble covers that's a big umbrella that can mean hurting, unintentionally, whatever. Those things are those people. And we've talked about this before. And I'm a firm believer, if you can't give it to yourself, you can't really give it to anybody else. And you can want to do it all day long, but you got to want it for yourself and figure it out for yourself before you can really give it to someone else.
I think that's true.
Eventually, it won't stick. Eventually, it won't be enough. Eventually, you backtrack. Eventually, you fall back into whatever abyss you might have been in because it didn't come from a foundational place. It came from sinking sand. And we all know that if you build a castle on sinking sand, it will eventually tumble. And then the unfortunate thing about that is now we have collateral damage. So imagine if you had to go through that yet again after already going through it as a child. You hear what I'm saying?
I think that's the difference between people with intent and without intent. Right? Like, if I ever do anything, the intention is there.
Yeah.
I don't know if my dad decided to get married, have a family, or do these things because that's what he told was right, or if his intention was there. I won't know that. I probably will never know that. I do have this feeling in that if he could have mastered what love is, it would have been because of me. Daddy's girl through and true. And I think I could have talked to him about, because sometimes children teach parents. Sometimes children parent parents.
A lot of the time.
A lot of the times they do. And so I think it was a matter of, you don't know what you don't know.
I don't think it's a matter of him not knowing, though.
I think it's a matter,
especially with the advances that you've made thus far.
I think he just wasn't aware.
Aware of what?
I would like to say that as much as I love my father, I think his emotional intelligence
wasn't there.
It just wasn't there, like, at all. Probably like between a 0 and a 2.
That's almost non-existent.
That doesn't make you a good husband. That doesn't make you a good father. It doesn't
make you a good person for yourself.
It doesn't make you a good person for yourself. So
you'll lack self-awareness.
And that's what I think was there. That wasn't there. You don't have self-awareness, so you can't have awareness of how the people who are reliant and dependent upon you feel. Like, you are the man, you are the head of this family, and people can't depend or rely upon you. And because of that, their lives have all taken altered trajectories. And I think that's a lot to sit with.
It is.
That's a lot to sit with, to think that, oh, because I didn't do my job as the head of the family, that everyone else's lives have been altered. But I forgave, and I still love. But I'm a daddy's girl.
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak for my mom. I can't speak for my sister. I can't speak for the other people that you have hurt. But I would have told him, regardless of the people you have hurt, everybody is worthy of forgiveness, because everybody has hurt someone. Intentionally or intentionally. And I would have told him that. And I would have told him that the best way to make amends, or the best way to, a part of forgiveness is to make amends with yourself and try to make amends with the other people. He's not in a position to make amends with himself or anybody else.
But even when he was in a position to do it, he didn't.
Because there was no self-awareness. There was no awareness of what he did to hurt people. And there really wasn't awareness that, oh, they're in pain because of me.
Child, I tell you what.
Sometimes I look at people who don't have emotional intelligence as children, because it's one thing to have it and then just ignore it. And those are the worst people. But it's one thing to just never know it and not have it. And all of your life is impacted because you don't have it.
Is your dad the baby or the only child?
He never claimed his sister, but he has a sister.
An older sister?
Yeah.
So, and I asked because
she was adopted.
I asked because, so technically he's the only child.
Mm-hmm.
And then the baby too. So I asked because, Peter is also the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that commonality even in others, like I'm talking about older generations, the babies. I see this common pattern of what we're talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
The lack of self-awareness, the self-serving and self-serving only. That lady looks familiar. Self-serving only.
One of them was waving at us hard.
The hurting other people intentionally and unintentionally, and not really caring at all. And choosing not to really care that they've hurt, other than when they feel like they're being reprimanded or attacked about it.
I think if my dad was able to truly empathize with other people, that he would not have done the actions that made him harmful. Being able to empathize is something that has to be taught in early childhood, or something you have to want to experience.
Mm-hmm.
And empathy is not something easy to acquire by any means. You almost have to be taught empathy, either by means of trial or because you have parents who want you to know.
I think we're all taught these things in life, first and foremost, by means of trial. But it's a matter of, did you learn the lesson? A lot of people ain't learned the lesson. They done failed that class and they never went back to school. They just dropped out.
But as we all know, the lesson ain't gonna quit you even if you quit the lesson.
Exactly. And this is why Peter is suffering the way he's suffering now. And that's what I meant when I said, like, it would be pointless for me or any of my siblings to try to step in the brink for him.
For your dad?
Peter.
For a sec, you're going to have to explain to the people who Peter is so they don't think you're talking about the apostle.
You need to watch the previous episodes. We've talked about who that is, okay?
You have not gone into detail about Peter.
Peter is my mama's baby daddy. All right. So I don't think it would do any justice. It would do more harm on us than justice for him to try to stand in the brink for him.
I don't try to stand in the brink for anyone, but I think it is my responsibility to try to I think at the end of the day, everybody wants to be loved regardless of their mistakes. Would you say that's a fair statement?
I would say it is a fair and true statement.
Okay. I try to give love to the people who I know of their mistakes, of their shortcomings, because if all of my shortcomings and mistakes were publicized, I would want people to love me too. And
I'm not saying don't love a person, though.
But I also understand where you come from, because they need to take accountability.
Yeah, it's about accountability. I can love you with a long handled spoon, as my great granddaddy would say. Like, I'm not naive to love. I'm not naive to this sort of thing. I don't, because I could very well say, like, I'm a daddy's girl too. I could say that if I wanted to.
For your granddaddy.
Right. But
who's a great man and helped raise you.
Absolutely.
Carpenter, taught you everything. A man of the cloak. Genuine man of the cloak.
Yep.
Showed you love.
His birthday's coming up too.
I know it.
But I'm just saying that, and even him, right?
Everybody
he has made
shortcomings.
Definitely. But he was accountable, and he took accountability and responsibility for those things. Then, now, well, later in his life as well. But he still gave love.
Some people know how to give love.
He still showed up. So with Peter, I've showed up. I've stood in the brink.
I know it.
I've prayed. I've done all the things in things, but and in the last incident that I had to show up for him or whatever, I struggled. I definitely struggled.
You struggled, but you did it.
This was about 4 years ago. I struggled because you end up in that limbo of, okay, God, why do I have to? Do I really have to, or do I really need to show up for
somebody who hasn't shown
somebody who has dogged me out, hasn't shown up for me, shown no importance, no accountability, no responsibility, no nothing, just a whole lot of horrors. But the love that I have for humanity is what allowed me to show up for him.
That's
Enough for what he needed, but not enough for what I probably would have wanted to give.
Okay.
Like if it was my granddaddy, who is my daddy,
Exactly.
But for the love that I have for humanity, if it's laid out on the street or something, like, I'm not gonna just walk by somebody that's shot in the middle of the street and just, that ain't my business. No,
Exactly.
The love I have for humanity is what gave me the strength and the capacity to show up for him. But I had to understand and be real with myself that there's a line, and there's a fine line there.
Fine line.
Because we can't continue to ignore, no matter how much I want the relationship with you, no matter how much I would have wanted the relationship with you even back then, or whatever the case may be. We can't continue to ignore that essentially you're still scum at this point.
Oh, God. That's not even. You say scum.
I was trying to put it nicely.
I know.
And it's unfortunate.
Not a gnat.
It's a ant. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. It is what it is, and we have to be honest. Like all my students, we have to be honest with what we're dealing with, who we're dealing with, and who the person is, not this fantasy. And I think as human beings, we get stuck in this fantasy of one little glimmer of something that we saw or experienced with a person, and then we hold on to that
Forever.
Yet trying to hold on to it, you cutting off your own circulation, selling yourself dreams and hopes. And where is that getting you? Nowhere.
Sorry. I had to stand up
So
because my bladder's full.
your bladder stay full.
It's the
Girl,
liquor. I'm on shot 3, you on shot 2.
blessed be the name.
Do our outro. Love it.
So y'all, all I'm saying is there are people that we are going to love and that we are going to want to love, and they won't be receptive. They might want to be, but they won't be receptive. And you have to understand that there is definitely, or you have to create some boundaries in there for yourself, for your own self-protection and self-love and self-awareness. Because we can get wrapped up. We can get wrapped up, tied up into all their shenanigans and what they doing and what they not doing and towards us or for us or in regards to us and stuff like that. And at this point, it's just like, it's really not our business enough to get that invested, right? Anyway, this has been a fun little game. This is going to be part of our new segment. And like I said, it's called Substance. And this is what it looks like. It's Substance by Lovely. Okay, this little cute black box. So we appreciate y'all for tapping in with us and being here today. I really want to hear back from y'all and hear y'all's thoughts and also whatever question. What was the question that they were supposed
Please
to be
talk
asking?
to us. We want to talk to y'all.
Let me see what that question was.
Which question?
It was a question. Was it this one? The question that she had asked me was, what is a secret or confession you have never shared with anyone? But I don't really have secrets. I live a private life, not a secret life. So ask away and I will.
But I think the privacy is a privilege.
What?
People who know you and get to know the life that you live in, that's a privilege.
It is.
And I think this
And
card,
that's why my exes be like, you fumbled me, baby. Because it's a
Exactly.
privilege to be
and
in
that's
the
why this
same-
card is so important.
Yeah.
Give the audience just a small privilege to know what it is to know Madam and the beautiful, complex, wonderful woman that you are. Y'all see how she looking at that? Like,
Because I don't know what to say. I really don't.
oh, how about this? Instead of a secret or confession, why don't you tell, next episode, everybody what would have been most helpful for you
In regards to what?
into living a fulfilling and healthy life. And healthy meaning spiritually, emotionally, psychologically.
At what point? Because I feel like I live that now.
In the midst of and despite of, tell everybody. Because you've had some trials and tribulations and you've stayed and you've come to the young, beautiful woman that you are. So
What would have been helpful was a safe space.
okay. And how do you think that you are a safe
Acceptance.
space because you didn't have a safe space?
Definitely. Because
Okay.
I know what it's like to not have a safe space. I know what it's like to not feel accepted or be accepted. Be told that you're accepted, but really not accepted because actions show differently.
Like the doors of the church.
Amen. So, and also what it feels to be judged where there should be no judgment, or little to no judgment. But to be judged heavily in those spaces and places.
Where do you feel you've been judged the most heavily that you probably shouldn't have?
In the household.
Family, right?
Yeah, family.
I can agree.
Definitely. Family.
What and we're gonna end this because we have to go soon. But what do you think families could do to have a more welcoming environment
For each other?
Yeah.
Stop sweeping stuff under the rug. Oh. Stop only bringing something up that may have hurt you or bother you just because someone else is bringing a pain or a hurt to your attention, and so you want to retaliate instead of hearing them and listening to them.
Amen.
And giving them that space.
Amen.
And then when they're done and you're done holding that space, then offer, flip the script. Then offer that same hurt or whatever that you may have experienced 2-3 years ago, whatever it was. And allow them to show up for you and say, I apologize. I did not know that. And that was not mine, to whatever it needs to be said. I would say stop with this mentality of like tough love. Because if you're giving these folks tough love, especially if they're young and they go out into this world, they're going to think that that's what they should accept. And it's not. Show them genuine and pure, loving love.
Intentional love.
So that when they go out here, jobs, spaces, relations, whatever, they are standing firm on what they're going to accept and what they're not going to accept. Because they know that, oh, wait, that's not right. This don't feel right. Or whatever the case may be. Have an open floor. Have an open door, a real open door policy. Not a policy of conditional understanding or boundaries, conditional boundaries, conditional openness or whatever, and whatnot, because those create projections.
They really
and extra judgment and manipulations, gaslighting, and the whole 9 yards.
We don't need none of that.
Really be self-aware so that you can properly show up for your quote unquote family, the people around you, the people that you're sharing a household with, so that they actually feel safe. Because if you can't feel safe where you lay your head, where else could you?
No.
And this is why we have addicts. This is why we have problems with self-esteem and self-love and whatnot, because as the old cliche say, looking for love in all the wrong places because we didn't get it where we were supposed to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And just because your form of love that you received was pain and hurt does not mean to pass that on, because if it didn't feel good to you, what makes you think it's going to feel good to someone else? And we got to stop using the excuse of, oh, well, what don't kill you make you stronger, or it didn't kill me, so you'll be all right. It didn't kill you physically,
but it didn't make you a good person.
But you mentally messed up. You're emotionally shut down. Your heart is black and bleak and cold.
So it didn't kill them, but it killed a part of them.
You agitated. You're overworking yourself. So it didn't physically kill you, but it killed you from the inside out. And it's only a matter before you drop.
Mm-hmm. She preaching the gospel, y'all. If only y'all would listen.
I'm just saying, we have to put a handle on that, because it creates so much toxicity where it shouldn't be. It creates so many hurt people that go out into the world and hurt other people. And we just end up in this same cycle of hurt people hurting people. And it's making it hard and tough for us healers, like myself out here. Okay? And it don't mean that we don't get hurt, that I don't get hurt. That's not what that means. But I'm just saying, Hurt people, heal people. But if it didn't feel good to you and you 70 or 50 or 60, why would you do it to your child or your niece or your nephew or whatever? Or your grandchildren, yes. If it didn't feel good to you then, if you knew it was wrong back then, why would you condone it now?
Not only condone it, but why would you be a participant to it? Don't.
There's always consequences.